Hello there, it's Seb from Three Counties Motorhomes and welcome to this video guide on the Truma heating and hot water system that is commonly found in some more modern vehicles where it's still a slightly more modular system. So this particular system will have separate controls for electric heating and for gas hot water, for electric hot water as well, and then you operate the fireplace on gas directly on the fireplace itself. This is a system they've had for a long time, but this is the sort of more modern equivalent of it. Now, it's worth noting that this system can comprise of more or less elements. So this video guide is going to cover everything. It's going to cover the gas heating, gas hot water, electric heating, and electric hot water. Your vehicle may have more or less elements of this system, so please just take from this video guide what applies to the equipment in your specific vehicle. But like I say, this video will cover all of the different parts of this system. So one of the telltale signs that you'll have this system is you'll have the more modern Truma fireplace that looks very much like this. If I find myself a bit of space. So it's a silver unit with these more modern, thicker louvres here on the front of the fireplace. And then we'll have controls that look like this across the top there. Now, the fireplace here, that is a clear indicator that that is a gas-operated fireplace. You would then look and see if you have any controls that look like this. They'll be labelled Truma, of course. One will say Ultra Heat, and it will have numbers in, 500, 1000 and 2000 typically on there. You'll also have one labelled Boiler, and this will have 50 degrees and 70 degrees on it. And also, in this particular motorhome, it's actually the last control is tucked away down in here. And the last control will be like this, very similar to the last boiler one we've seen. But as you can see, this one is labelled Boiler EL and has some slightly different markings on it. But essentially, the switch works in the same way. So now you know what we're looking for in terms of physical controls in the vehicle. Now, in a lot of cases where these are modern vehicles, there can often be a sergeant panel, which is a very common electrical management power supply unit, such as this one here. This is an EC500, and this one has electrical isolators for the space heater and water heater as well. These two are part of the main system. You may not have something like this, and you may instead have switches, little tiny switches that could be in a wardrobe or something like that, that will be the electrical isolators. But in this particular vehicle's case, the electrical isolators are on a sergeant unit. So that's the sort of setup we're going to be discussing. So let's get to it. So first of all, we have the operation of the gas heating, and this is very, very simple. So on the control here on the top of the fireplace itself, on the top right here, you should have a control that looks something like this. It will be labelled from 0 through to 5 with sort of indicators indicating that it's increasing as you go round. And as you can see, it is turning anti-clockwise. This will also push down as well. There is a control on the other side that will look like this, and we'll discuss that in a moment. That's actually part of the heating system, but it's not specific to gas only operation. On the fireplace as well, for us to be able to light the gas, we're going to also use this pilot light viewport just here to be able to see if we have a lit flame or not. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this dial to around 1 to 1.5, and this is going to start clicking inside. It's the igniter. It's automatic, and it's basically preparing itself for you to introduce gas. So here we go. There's the clicking. And then I'm going to push down on the control whilst looking in here to see if I see a pilot light igniting. I've just heard it ignite straight away. And there you go. You can see the pilot light in there. Now I'm going to let go of the control at the top and see if the pilot light stays lit. Now you can also see the little red element in there as well. When that gets nice and hot, that's what helps keep the gas flowing automatically. If the pilot light was to go out, that little piece of metal will cool down and it will shut the gas off as part of a safety feature, which does mean in colder temperatures, it might take a little bit more of an effort to get the fire to stay lit. Now, to help you find that pilot light viewing angle is basically straight dead face onto the unit itself, and you're looking at about a 45-degree angle, and you should be able to see it. So you can actually see it from sort of quite far back. As you can see, I'm near the opposite side of the walkway here, and you can still see the pilot light quite clearly. Now, once the pilot light has established itself and it's keeping itself lit, you can then gently increase the gas flow, and at some point you might hear it puff and light a little bit more aggressively. You can see the pilot light's much more aggressive now. If at that point it blows itself out, you might just need to relight again and keep it on a lower setting for a little bit longer, just to help everything warm up before you try and introduce more gas. But that's basically it. Now, as default, the hot air is going to come out from these louvres on the front here. If you want to blow that warm air around the vehicle through the ducting ports like these at the back down there, what you need to do is use the blown air system, which is right here. Now, we have two parts to this control. There is a lower collar that we can twist like so, and it's indicating on this side here like so. And then we also have a top dial as well. Now, the A position is automatic, and it's basically going to try and find a suitable fan position for the amount of heat being generated. O is off. M is manual, and that means this dial will now control the fan speed. And then we have absolute full throttle here. And that's just a little bit faster than the maximum 5 position on the manual mode. Okay. But most people put it on the manual mode and then fine tune the blow as they see fit. And of course, the ducting ports do have chokes inside, as you can see there, that you can move to restrict or open the airflow, so you can balance the airflow accordingly. Now, of course, the hot air is generated here. The longer those pipes run throughout the vehicle, the cooler the air will be at the end, so you might just need to balance everything around to get a sort of even distribution of hot air throughout the vehicle to your liking. And that's essentially it. Now, to shut off after we've lit, what we need to do is just turn this dial without pushing it. Just turn it all the way from where it is to the 0 position, but I advise doing it whilst also having the pilot light in view, so you can physically watch the pilot light die out. There we go, and you can see the metal cooling down as well at the same time. That means I've verified with my eyes that I've seen the gas has definitely gone out, and we are off on the top. That's the gas heating. Nice and easy. Next up, we have gas hot water, and that's even easier. It's this switch here that will be labelled Truma boiler, and it will have a 50-degree position, a 0 and a 70-degree position, and this is a 3-position switch. Now, the 0 position in the middle is off. If we move up, we have the lowest setting, which is the 50 degrees, and if we move it down, we have the higher setting, which is 70 degrees. And you literally just flick it on like that. You'll hear a loud click. Now, I'm going to do that again, just so that you can hear it. There'll be a very loud click, or hopefully you'll be able to hear it. In most vehicles, you can hear it. That's the gas valve opening on the boiler itself. So let's see if we can hear that now. There you go. Hopefully you heard that. It's very loud to my ears. Now, when you also turn the gas supply off, after a short delay, you'll hear an equally loud click, but it will be a little bit more muffled sounding, okay? And it will sound like this. So, I don't know if you could hear that one. But yeah, that's basically how you operate the gas boiler. It's either one position or the other, depending on whether you want high or low temperature, basically. And it's as easy as that. So, now let's move on to electric operation of both of these things. So, just as I mentioned earlier in the video, the electric operation is going to require you to turn the electric supply on. Of course, you're going to need to make sure your vehicle is plugged into mains electricity, and where you have the electrical isolators, they need to be on. As mentioned, in this case, it's on the Sargent EC500. They have switches here for space heater and water heater. These need to be on. As mentioned earlier, you may have separate standalone switches that could be labelled for either, and they might not necessarily even be together. They can be in completely different places. For example, I've had a motorhome where the boiler has been in a sort of location like this, just behind the driver's seat, and the electric switch is there. The heating switch has been underneath the dinette seat, forward-facing travelling seat there. So again, just refer to your specific vehicle, but you're looking for the electrical isolators to make sure you have electric supply to the heating and hot water system. And when you do, we can then operate that. So let's start with the heating aspect. So for the heating, we're going to come to this control that looks like this. It will say Truma Ultra Heat. It will have 230 volts labeled here. It will also have these numbers down the side. And the internal dial will look like this. This is a twistable collar. You can see there's a little sort of pimple there that points to the different numbers. Now 0 is off, so no heating is on. Even if we have the electrical isolators on, that doesn't matter. The control on 0 means the system is off. But this collar will allow us to choose the wattage. Okay, so how powerful the heating system is. I'm just going to turn it straight to 2000 watts or 2 kilowatts. And as we do, we get a green light. That's fantastic. That means it's on. And then basically this internal dial just chooses when the heating cuts in and cuts out. It's kind of like a thermostat, if you will. And it's as easy as that. Now, just like the gas heating, the heat is going to come out from the fireplace itself by default, and you can use the blown air system to blow it around. So you can move the heat around just like you can on gas, that's it basically. Now, to turn off, we just twist the collar back to the 0 position. The green light should go out. Easy as that. Now, the hot water is also very, very easy. And in this particular vehicle, we have to go into this cupboard. And in this cupboard, we have this control here, as you saw earlier. So this is the electric hot water control that you might have on your vehicle. It's labeled Truma Boiler EL for electric, and you can also see this one has the 230 volts at the bottom left corner as well. But otherwise, it's essentially exactly the same as the gas control. It's a 3-position switch with an off position in the middle, a low setting at the top, and a high setting at the bottom. It's as simple and easy as that to operate. So there we go. That about wraps up the video for the Truma heating and hot water system. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to speak to your handover specialist or your salesperson, or you can reach us via email at customersupport@m-d-g.co.uk or by phone on 01202 673735, choosing option 3 for aftercare. I'm Sev. I hope you found this video useful, and thank you very much for watching.